was very decent because the put on my eye.
Tak.
Ja.
Kimo, iya ke ata kesa.
So I don't know.
But I'm right here with the camera, so I mean, I think you'll zoom up my head. I'm right here with my back to the camera. Is that safe? Yeah. Right here, but I know they'll be zooming up my head. You, so what are you doing? I mean, like, take photos of this board, please. Then I'm in show.
Are.
Just a song.
I'm giving fear.
I'm right here with the camera with my back.
Over.
So I'm sure they're gonna zoom up now. Isn't it? All right. Bye. Oh God, I'm gonna be sure. No, that's good. Do you think it's better here or there? Because yeah, if you look at the temperature amount, check over there. It's really about.
When I'm sitting there, somebody will
But from here, the camera. Oh yeah. It's French this way. Yeah, no, that's
Soka Mubarunari pati tweka kopano Rati se twaka lirato 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 Renota kiena mungala pale Le mata mata le ta 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 Renota kiena mungala pale Na le mata mata le ta 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 Renota kiena mungala pale Le mata mata le ta 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 Renota kiena mungala pale Na le mata mata le ta 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 Mukhwaruna ipasi tweka kopano Rati se twaka lirato Mukhwaruna ipasi tweka kopano Rati se twaka lirato Mukhwaruna ipasi tweka kopano Rati se twaka lirato Ipasi tweka kopano Rati se twaka lirato Renata kiena mungala pale Le mata mata le ta 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 Renata kiena mungala pale Na le mata mata le ta 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 Renata kiena mungala pale Le mata mata le ta 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 Renata kiena mungala pale Na le mata mata le ta 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 Mukhwaruna ripasi tweka kopano Rati se twaka lirato 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 kiena mwana pale Le mata mata le ta 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 kiena mwana pale Le mata mata le ta 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 kiena mwana pale Le mata mata le ta 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 kiena le mata le ta 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 ta. Ipasise ka kopano, rati se tswaka lerato. Ipasise ka kopano, rati se tswaka lerato.
Whoa.
Angipela mandla usundithwale Nkosi yami, angipela mandla ngenxa yami usundilwele, angipela mandla usundithwale Nkosi yami, angipela mandla ngenxa yami Angipela mandla usundithwale Nkosi ngenxa yami uzundilwele andipela amandla sundithwale Nkosi yami andipela amandla ngenxa yami uzundilwele Nkosi yami izinto zalo mhlaba 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 andipela amandla sundithwale Nkosi yami andipela amandla ngenxa yami uzundilwele Nkosi yami izinto zalo mhlaba uzundilwele Nkosi yami izinto zalo mhlaba andipela amandla sundithwale Nkosi yami andipela amandla ngenxa yami uzundilwele
Please.
Baziphumula kancane sishaya umoya uza amanzi uzosibisa wakukhathele lesikayahula phela
Nkosi sikeleli Afrika maluphakanyisa uphondo lwayo izwa imithandazo yethu Nkosi sikelela thina lusapho lwayo Murena buluka sichaba sa Yesu ufedise dintwali maswenye usibuluke sichaba sa
Once they are usually done with the daily work of assisting in operations. Minister, they are talented, but they are not full-time in singing. They do this after they have closed and opened valves and other things to ensure that they'll be good. I think at this time I will call Tate Mudikwe Chere, who is our head of check at Randwater, to come and give us the rundown of the safety protocols. See, the Minister Makazi is about to enter the room. I don't know whether it will be hot, but perhaps we can allow her to get in, and then Mr. Chair will proceed. Just one second, let the chair.
Thank you so much, Program Director. Greetings to all. In Sesotho we say Madume Hafele, so special greetings to the Honorable Minister, the Deputy Minister, Chairperson of the Board, the CE and the Executive, and all that are gathered here today. We're just going to do a brief safety briefing in case of emergency. We have 3 exit doors, 2 on the side and 1 at the back. In case of emergency, then a horn will be sounded, and then we'll evacuate this area to the assembly point at the main gate. And then there are some waste bins that are placed in strategic areas. For the waste, if we have accumulated some waste, then we need to use those. And then if we are going to go to the construction site, we require full PPE. We need overalls, safety boots. You know, we still have a construction site, and then we need to treat that as such. And then there are slippery surfaces at our construction site, so extra caution needs to be taken when we walk in that particular construction site. And I think that will be about, and then at the back and also at the construction site, there are ablution facilities that we can utilize. And then there are some open holes. Please also then extra caution is to be taken when we walk around the construction site. And then if we have any injuries, we have our emergency services around here, and then they need to be reported to us, and then we will ask the emergency services to assist in that regard. I thank you all.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mutsikwe. Without further ado, Let me call to stage Ntate Ramadou Munyokolo, Chairperson of the Board of Randwater, to give us the opening remarks and welcome everyone. Thank you.
I have to adjust this because I'm abnormal load. Thanks, the Honorable Minister and the two deputies, the CEO, the Deputy Chairperson of Randwater and the board, the CEO and the executive team, the councillors who are here. When we look at the World Economic Forum, one of the issues that they raise as one of the risks that is confronting society is that of climate change. And key to that are issues around the heat wave, around the unpredictable weather patterns. And in anticipation of those challenges that are inherent in our lives today, Randwater has started a program over years ago to improve and increase its infrastructure. Because we are also aware that without water, we are told that water is an enabler for socio-economic development. You can't build a hospital without having access to water. You can't build a mine without access to water. You literally can't do much without access to water. You can't even leave your house if you don't have access to water. To that extent, however, in our midst is intermittent power supply. Just yesterday, we had a power failure for about 10 hours, and we had to inform our customers about the challenge that we're encountering, which was a problem within the ESCOM system. And through collaboration with ESCOM and the Ekurhuleni municipality, the issue was resolved, and water is now running effectively, in particular in the Vlakfontein system, which is the system that we are working on currently. Part of our plan is to roll out more reservoirs and also to augment our pipeline infrastructure. We have also learned a number of lessons from the current situation that is confronting ESCOM. And one of those is that our very survival and sustainability is interconnected to that of municipalities. In a similar way, municipalities cannot survive without us. That has then called us upon as Randwater to consider changing our operating model, meaning that we want to now provide water from the source, that is from extraction, to the tap. These are the discussions that the board will be looking at seriously, so that we mitigate against the issues that are confronting other parastatals, in particular ESCOM. Because as municipalities collapse, we are collapsing with them. Today, as we sit here, we are going to launch a reservoir that is said that this reservoir is post-tension concrete reservoir, which is the biggest reservoir in the world, with 210 megaliters capacity. The second one is in Saudi Arabia with 200 megaliters. So we are launching the first and the biggest water reservoir of its kind globally. And the reservoir that we are launching today is part of our Mapleton booster system, which is part of our augmentation program. It feeds Tshwane Metro, Ekurhuleni Metro. It goes up to Mpumalanga, Govenimbeki, Butakhanye, Tembisilehani, and also Lesedi municipality. We trust that you'll appreciate this colossal structure that we have established, that was started in 2020, and we are completing it today. We are launching it today. And unfortunately, not all of us will have the opportunity to go inside the water reservoir. And this is a lifetime opportunity for those of us who are lucky, or those of you who are lucky that will go into reservoir. It will be the first time for us. I accept, of course, the engineers that go in and out every day. But for some of us, it will be an opportunity. But because of security reasons, not all of us will be able to go into reservoir. 11 meters up, you go up the stairs 11 meters, and you go down the stairs 11 meters and up again and down again. So if you are not fit, if you feel that you cannot make it, please don't join those that go up and down, because you may not survive. You are all welcome. We hope that you enjoy the activities of the day. Thank you.
Sometimes I don't believe when people tell me I'm short. Now I realize. So I must try and adjust. Chairperson is thoroughly cartoon. Without further ado, let's allow the Chief Executive of Randwater, Tate Sipo Atekniko Musai, to come to the stage and give us an overview of Randwater's infrastructure development program and the Vlakfontein Reservoir project in detail. Thank you. Over to you.
Minister, DMs, Chairman, the Board of Randwater, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It gives me a great pleasure and a sense of excitement that today we gathered here to launch this reservoir at an opportune time when we're all going through serious challenges of heat wave that really needs of us to provide water beyond our peak and average demands. And indeed at the time, as the chair has indicated, when we are going through serious load shedding. Just in terms of a brief background, I just want to contextualize, really start at the catchment level right upstream in terms of where we get water. And then I will then zoom into the details of why we're here and really go into some of the details that the chair has highlighted at high level. As Randwater, we get water from what you call integrated Vaal River System, IVRS. Essentially, it's a network of dams that the department has built upstream, from which we get water through, meandering of many rivers feeding into quite a number of reservoirs, or not reservoirs, but dams within South African context. In KZN, Mpumalanga, Free State, they get into the Vaal Dam, including some of the water that we get from Katse Dam and Mahale Dam in Lesotho. We then, as Randwater, abstract at a cost reflective tariff from the Department of Water and Sanitation, from which we then purify water at 2 of our purification works. Right at the bottom of the slides there, in Zekerbosch. Okay, it's not working. In Zekerbosch and Vereeniging, if you can cast your eyes at the bottom of the slide. So the water really comes from the Vaal River System through a network of pipes, BG1, BG2, takes all the water straight into Zekerbosch. And of course, we are able to abstract some of the water through Vereeniging purification works from the Vaal River itself that gets water from the Vaal Dam. So at the bottom there, we have those 2 purification works, Zekerbosch and Vereeniging. They purify, and then we also call them pump stations. So interchangeably, we say Vereeniging pump station or Vereeniging purification works, similarly with Zekerbosch, because there's a lot of pumping that happens there. So from there, we then pump all the water. All those lines are what you call pipes. There's about 3,054 kilometers of these pipes that run across the length and breadth of Gauteng, parts of Mpumalanga, parts of Free State, and all the way to Rustenburg in the northwest as well. These reservoirs, so these pipes, they then take water into the southern part of Johannesburg, where we further boost with the energy. We further boost the water through the network of those 4 booster stations: Aikenhof to the west, Swartkopis, Palmit centrally, and Mapleton to the east, which is essentially where we are now. From there, we still further boost. So energy is extremely important for us. I was saying to the minister, in the last 6 months, we used about 1,600 megawatts at the cost of just over 2 billion rand of energy. One of the biggest cost driver to enable us to supply water. So after we boost that water, water doesn't go straight to the municipalities, it gets into the reservoirs. These storage, clean water storage dams, infrastructure that store raw water, we call it dams. But don't be confused, in the US they also call it reservoirs. But in South Africa we choose to call the raw water containing infrastructure dams. The clean water containing infrastructure, we call them reservoirs within the South African context. So we have about 58, this is one will be 59 reservoirs across the length and breadth of our value chain, from which then municipalities get water that they then distribute into their system and into their households. So really our value chain stops at the point where we put water into the reservoirs, structures like this, and then it gravitates by and large. The whole idea is that you take as much water to the top of the mountain and then you gravitate. That's why the pumping happens. So our highest point will be in Vereeniging and Klip-Riversberg, and then from there we gravitate. So you pump energy, you gravitate, there is no energy that is required to do so. Why do we decide and when do we decide to do what in the entire value chain? We have what you call asset life cycle management model that is underpinned by a strategy. So rather continuous business cycle, it never stops ending. You have to plan for infrastructure. You have to do construction, you have to operate it, you have to repair and maintain, replace, and it goes on like that. So this infrastructure that we are launching today, it was not conceived in 2020 when it was built. You have to plan your infrastructure, at least in our system, 10 years in advance. We are going to be launching later on this year about 600 additional megaliters of water a day that we're putting in the system. Minister, this we conceived in 2009 when I walked into Randwater. So planning is important, and the laying of infrastructure takes time. It's not an overnight thing. So we plan, we have raw materials on site, we construct, we operate and maintain. We keep this cycle going all the time. So what we're seeing today is a culmination of the planning exercise that took place many years ago. We have now constructed this reservoir and now it's going to be operational. You have to maintain it and make sure at the end of that life cycle you already plan for additional one. So this is our Bible. You are always planning, you are always constructing, you are always operating, you are always repairing and maintaining. Not only for the purposes of maintenance and operations, but for the purpose of augmenting infrastructure going forward. People will always need water. So this informs us as to where do we build reservoirs, what will be the capacity, because in our planning stage, we would have known what is the demand in each and every area and augment accordingly. So following this, then we have what we call capital expenditure. This informs on the basis of the demand that the municipalities would have given us, Stats SA, and the work that we're doing, forecast and give an indication of where and how much of capex or capital expenditure you have to lay to augment the system. So we have what we call integrated infrastructure development plan that we revisit on a yearly basis. It tells us what infrastructure must we build for these years in the outer years. So in the next 5 years, we're going to be spending about 25 billion. Most of that expenditure will really go into the pipe network, because really we are a pipeline business and 3,000 of them. But we also, as you see, what I've circled there is the reservoirs that we also need to build. Reservoirs, ladies and gentlemen, are important because what they do is they store water for, excuse the pun, for rainy days. What does that mean? For when you have load shedding, when you have peaks, and then you can't pump. The water in the reservoir is the water that we give the municipalities when we can't do that. So storage is important, reservoir is important. As the chair is indicating, in this system alone, we've been out for about 10, 12 hours, but the DM in the high-lying areas of Tshwane got water. Where did that water come from there? In our reservoir. So it is important that we augment, not only in terms of pipes, not only in terms of infrastructure, not only in terms of pipelines, but in terms of the reservoirs. That is why we're here today. We are launching this infrastructure or reservoir. It is essentially 210 megaliters reservoir. It's phase one. We've got two. This is a third. We're going to have two more in 2028, 2035. I'm sure I'll still be here 2035. This is 210 megaliters of water a day. I was trying to explain to somebody in layman's language to say it is approximately just under 50 Olympic-sized swimming pool. 50 of them. Olympic-sized swimming pool is 50-meter diameter, 25-meter wide, 2.5-meter deep. We are feeling we'll have water of about 50 of those Olympic-sized swimming pool. So from here to there is 50, from there to so we're talking, take this room, take this tent, and multiply it by 50. That's how big this infrastructure is. So that will also give us, that capacity to meet the demands in this system of between now and 2035 when we need additional reservoir. We're not starting here. We're not stopping here. Our infrastructure development plan, which is a 20-year projection, also indicates some of the reservoirs that are coming in this system alone. Although this reservoir is in this system, we are able to load shift. If the demand is low here, we'll be able to take this water and send it to the west part of our value chain where the demand could be higher. So it's not only storage for this system, it's the storage for the entire system because we have cross-connected pipes and the reservoirs. So the operators that are sitting in Vereeniging or anywhere in our value chain, they look at the demand and they play around with where water is sent at any given time. So this structure that is here, as I've indicated, is not only the reservoir, it has got, I think, 2 inlet works and 2 outlets. By inlet, we mean water coming into the reservoirs, outlet water that goes out. So we pump into this reservoir from Mapleton, but we gravitate outside with these outlet pipes into Mpumalanga and certainly parts of Tshwane. So we also have scour chambers. You'll probably see this if you're lucky in the reservoirs, quite dark in there. This is for all the maintenance that we need to do from time to time. We need to scour the reservoir and let water go out. I'll show you later on, if we are able to play the video, Minister DMs, but we have also done a lot of jacking here. By jacking is that because these reservoirs are connected, we go under the roads, so you pipe jack. You don't cut the road, you go under the road. So there's about 4 pipe jacks in this area. I think if I'm not mistaken, these blinds that put water in here, I forgot my numbers, but I think they're sitting at about 2 meter, 1.2 diameter pipes. So they're big pipes. So this reservoir that we are launching here, and the minister and the deputy ministers will be cutting the ribbon, is the largest post-tension reservoir in the world. It's not our biggest reservoir. Our biggest reservoir is in Klip Riversberg. I think one of them is about 640 million liters of water a day. Is the largest from the post-tension, as the chair indicated. The type of the reservoir. Without being technical about it, the civil guys will take you into the details later in terms of post-tension. So it's a post-tension pre-stressed concrete reservoir. Pre-stressed concrete, it's simply you pre-compress concrete with steel wires and rods. What you do when you pre-test, when you post or pre-tension, you tension the tendons in the concrete, and then you cast. But post-tension, you lay your concrete, and then you post-tension it. Essentially what you do, these engineers, they play around with terminology, but let me explain it in a simple science. They say there's a concrete like this. If you put tension on it, it will compress and it will crack. So what you do, they just put a very strong cable inside so that when you have a truck passing by, it's able to withstand what they call the stress that comes with it. It's as easy as that. So they just make engineering difficult, and they use post-tension, pre-stress, but they just put wires in the concrete to make it stronger so that it can withstand the pressure. Exactly. So they put reinforcements, they put the tendons, they pull them, and then it puts the concrete together and becomes strong. Civil guys, you must be impressed with the scientists explaining it. Yeah. So I think the design marvel. We really love it, except for the best, that is the biggest. It is the biggest in the world, not in the continent, not in the world, but at 210 megaliters. So from here, we will then, as I indicated, supply Pretoria East, DM, the leafy suburbs of the Pretoria East where you live. Ekurhuleni, Governing Beki, Victor Kanye, Tembisilahani, and Lesedi. The water is pumped in this reservoir through a line called S1. This is just a naming convention. As I indicated to you, Minister, that we're going to have a parallel line. I think it's the S4 that is coming, so that we feed these reservoirs not only with one line, but two lines. So it's coming next week. And then the water that goes out into this reservoir is through a line called S3 that simply gravitates water into all these areas of supply I'm referring to. So this additional 210 storage capacity will give us about 24-hour storage in times of need when we don't have enough power or we have high peak demands. So this is an aerial and helicopter view of where we are. The new 210 reservoir is now enclosed. Across the street we have two, but the combined capacity of those two is 420. So all in total in here, you will have 630 storage capacity of water a day. So those blue lines, these are the inlet. This is water that comes in, that has been pumped all the way here, pressure reducing valves before the water goes in there. And then the red lines that you see, these are the outlets. Now we're taking water through those lines into to the municipalities upstream. We started in May 2020. We completed in, I think, what is left is probably Zondo, the snag list in here, but we can use the infrastructure. And in fact, we used it a bit during the peak waves. So it's up and running. They're going to play around filling it and cleaning it, and then we are done. So everything will be out here on the 23rd of April. But we started in 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, the infrastructure is complete. Aren't we efficient? Yep, good value for money, didn't come cheap, 467 million rand that we laid to build this, as the chair is saying, 11 meter high. And then I think for those that exercise, if we take a good 2 rounds around this reservoir, it will give you an odd kilometer. We just worked on it today. My watch was saying 1.1 kilometer, just going around twice. Of course, a lot of challenges in here. The first thing, it was during COVID. Obviously, movement was difficult, but we were lucky with our colleagues from WHO that were the main civil guys here, because they were a bit short of work. We managed to make sure that they bring the best of the best engineers available. So although COVID was really a constraint, but to an extent, it actually helped a great deal to fast track this process. Socio-economic development challenges, as we know in South Africa, local empowerment, BE, and those things locally are a big challenge. I'm very grateful to our SED team to ensure that everybody is happy around the work, so that the engineers and the contractors, the scientists and the health and safety guys could do their work. So there were a lot of socio-economic difficulties. But thank you to the community, the councillors that worked with us. Without them, the project would not have been completed. Although it was a challenge, but it actually talks to the good model that we have on the SED to make these community-based projects be completed on time. Cost varied due to imported specialized materials and equipment were a bit challenged, particularly during COVID. We created about 220 local jobs in here. Ministers, those that are here, that are truthful, they will tell you that they benefited. And we spent about 8.2 million and 11 million on the subcontractors locally. And here are the names, here are the beneficiary. Those that don't benefit will complain, but those that benefited, they will not tell the church to give me a raise because they benefited. Yeah, I think at this point in time, I just wanted to play the video, just to take you through the whole process of how this reservoir was built. Thank you.
Una ke bogwari mona. Ni wa botlhaga. Asizulu ba ukako. Kako bokwakha. I think it's a marvel work of engineering and science at best. I was struggling to understand what's going to happen here now. See, there's a bomb now. There are bombs. I was thinking maybe this thing is going to be buried underneath. But I saw it going up, and I think we've got good engineering capacity and capability in the country. That is demonstrated here. I think part of what Randwater has managed to do over a passage of time of 120 years, we have done many fests, and as part of building up to the celebrations and commemoration of our 120 years of existence, is to demonstrate and showcase from science, engineering point of view what Randwater has contributed in the knowledge space, the socio-economic space, and generally in unlocking value and potential in South Africa, particularly in the epicenter of the economic activities, which is Greater Gauteng and the Highveld. So I think this is one of the manifestation of that long-held history and patterns within Randwater and its ability to lead the way in many ways than one. Without further ado, I'm going to be asking David Mahlobo, Deputy Minister, Honorable Mahlobo, to come and welcome the Minister to the stage. And immediately after he speaks, just before the Minister ascends to the stage, I'm going to ask Randwater Choir, Baba Ma get to Kulmanda visit.
Okay.
He may say,
Okay.
he then further welcomes the Minister on stage. So after you, I'm not coming back, the choir will, yeah.
Thank you very much to Deboko for that. To the leadership of the department, led by His Excellency, our Minister Mkhulu Macingwane Ndabezitha, the Deputy Minister of Water and Sanitation, Memakatsi, the Chairperson of Randwater. We are a Lord Star in the water sector, Corporate Nyagolo. We are very proud, and the Deputy Chair and the other members of the board that are here. My brother, the CE, imagine I'm born with a bonus. Corporate Siko. Mind you, on a problem because Minister Mkhulu is a very difficult taskmaster. Until the water arrives in the people's homes, he will say the work is not done. But we are very close to the bonus. I will support it. But as you know, Corporate Minister, he will say, as the water arrived in the houses. When it has not arrived, the chair can't sign it off. But the motivation can be prepared. And the entire executive of Randwater, the leadership of the department led by the DTG, Comrade Smart Mat, and the entire team, and the councillors minister, we have the councillors here. Councillor Nicole Da Silva, she's from here, Egurlane, Lonette Josephs, and Sinetemba Madiwane, they are all here. Mine is to come and request the minister as I've been tasked. But I'm very pleased, Minister, that through your hard work, because you don't take nonsense as prisoners. Minister is a very difficult person. I happen to know him as a youngster. I grew up under him politically. Very, words still behind my ears at the time. I thought when he's getting older, he will slow down. He doesn't want to slow down. But in the water sector, the minister must know, because sometimes you'll be confused, because I started in water as a youngster. That was my first job. And I'm back here. Minister came in August 2021, very short period of time. And last year, August, we finished a year in office. One of the biggest things that has happened under this ministry is to change our mindset. Normally, the people who work in water, they never appreciated that we are running a relay. And when we run a relay, we have a responsibility that if you have run your laps, the race is not over. Your job is to be able to encourage the others until you reach the finishing line. Ordinarily, the attitude in the water sector, especially those that you remember were trained on integrated water resource management, we are always partitioned. No, our job is to protect the resource or is to do the bulk. Then comes Minister Mtun and his ministry, who were to learn that our job is incomplete. It's incomplete until the water reaches people's homes, until the socio-economic rights of other people are realized. For the first time, after we have done this important work, so beautiful, but we are not satisfied. That means I will not be satisfied that people don't get water. One day, I was telling Minister, I got a call from a daughter of mine. She says she's phoning a Deputy Minister of Water and reporting to this Deputy Minister of Water that there is no water in their house for 3 days and she wants to go to school. And where I stay, in one area, I forgot its name, in Pretoria, in Tshwane. There've not been water over the last probably close to 2 days. Then there's a funny councillor of another party, I don't remember the party there, writes all the time how bad Randwater minister looks. And after writing on this chat group, then there's a notice at the end that no, but the problem was the power here in the Mapleton. Eskom, there was a problem. And that line, we know that that line ultimately goes to Zim. A funny arrangement, someone who looks after this infrastructure is in Free State region. And then after they've said how ugly you look, Zim, then they write, no, but Randwater started working on that thing yesterday at 7 o'clock. Fortunately, the child normally complains that she has to go to school, there's no water. There was water. Then I will report to say, Minister Mtun and the team, they've pushed you in a very nice way that there must be water. I'm going to be a beneficiary for this one, Minister. Not only when I'm in Gauteng, but I'll also be a beneficiary because I'm from Pumala. And this is what government works. And what you could take from this ministry, it doesn't rest, we all don't rest. Now that we know that we will not be able to rest until we ensure that the freedom of the others is being achieved, that their dignity is restored. We want to say we are very grateful, we continue to learn from him with Mema Katsi. We might have our own experiences. Mina, I'm learning for the second time. In taking the notes from the two of you. But this is very good, Chairperson, this is very good because at least there's an appreciation of the philosophy by the minister. That to guarantee the availability of water, let's ensure that the entire system, it has a particular capability and capacity, what we can call it the lead time. Because if you don't build this infrastructure, the population has grown. And that's why the minister says we must plan ahead, but also the economy in terms of the GDP contribution for Gauteng. Immediately those two, they go up. There must be a direct proportion in terms of investment in infrastructure. And we are very pleased that with the leadership of the minister, we're in the Western Cape last week. Even there, sometimes they don't say that we're doing the good job. There are certain people who are politicking. Not that today I'm wearing this thing is red. Don't take me out of the stage thinking that I'm budging to the stage. And I'm also wearing blue. but I insisted to keep my trousers black, so that at least I remain on that part. But we continue to work hard under this leadership. Those communities that don't have water, under Minister Mtun and supported by ourselves, they will receive water, including the people of Guyana, Comrade Sipho, they will receive water. And the people of Gauteng, through yourselves in Mpumalanga, Northwest and everywhere, including Free State where we are working, they should be able to receive water. At this stage, I'm not going to give you the reason for the minister. It's been our leader. Water is not a favor, it's the right thing to do because it's a constitutional imperative. Ndabezitha, we want to request you to join us. Thank you. We have the capacity to sing if the choir can't sing. Matengwane was going to be the volunteer in chief of the choir. They can come quickly. Oh, it was included as a king of making trial when you down. Let's allow this beautiful choir. There was a very nice tenor here and soprano. I hope the CE can sing. Maybe this I never saw you sing. Thank you.
I'm not sure. Greetings to the program director.
Yes.
Thank you very much. You are doing very well with the program. Let me recognize Deputy Minister Makadzi, Deputy Minister Mashobo, and thanks Mashobo for your generous introduction. Greetings to the chair of the board. Greetings to the deputy chair and the rest of the board members. I see some of them here. Thank you very much for making time. The CE and the whole team that is here from COO and the rest of the top managers, Randwater. Let me greet all the various dignitaries that are here, including councillors, as mentioned by Mashobo. We thank you very much for your presence and for your time, and all representatives of different stakeholders that managed to be here, including the media. We thank you very much for being here. Now, I was saying, I'm not sure why the choir is called Randwater choir instead of water choir. You know, this the board is very, possessive. They want to exclude us so that we don't feel we're part of the choir. No, but thank you very much. The idea of a choir, they sing very well. Those of you who are at the back there did not see the skill of the choir master. The way he runs his choir, from time to time I could hear a nice tenor going up, achievement on your side. And therefore, right from the beginning, let's take this opportunity and really thank you very much, Randwater, and appreciate your ability and your capacity to plan ahead. At the moment, these days, the looming question is the water sector surviving? Is the water sector? But I want to take this opportunity that correct the wrongs as failure, or as an example of our failure. Pick all those things up. Get us to the present, but get us to the future. It's on the planning side. We are hard at work. Very, very hard at work. People may not see because we don't come to the public sweating to demonstrate that we're hard at work. And when we're hard at work, sweating somewhere, people are not there. Because they were not meant to be there. One, we were directed to establish a body called Independent Economic Regulator. We have it now in South Africa, regulating tariffs, sustainability of the sector. They come from various aspects of water, but related to tariffs, so that we give confidence to current investors and would-be investors that we don't just suck our prices or prices of water or water tariffs in the country. It comes from a body that is independent, that work independently of the minister, independent of all of us in the sector. just they will not just observe, they will build. They will go out, get money in whatever way they get. Remember, a kind of projects, not going to run everything. They're not going to take over everything. Just selected projects for their size and specialization and all of that. They're not going to run everything. They will continue to run water just like they are running, the way they are running at the moment in terms of bulk water. They are doing that. But we want reinforcement via that agency. In other words, as I say, we will select the kind of projects that they will run. They won't just run everything and take over everything. Because we want to assure South Africans that water is a serious business. And we acknowledge that it's a sensitive matter and a very emotional matter. It is a very, very important catalyst for economic development. And we don't want to gamble with water and water availability for whatever investment in future in any part of the country that needs to be there. They want to assure them that not only is water available now, but water will be available and will be better and well managed in future. So we're not sitting and sleeping somewhere. We're working very hard. So apart from those institutions, we even have a water research commission, which all of you are familiar with. And apart from that, we have a water institute in Southern Africa, which is independent and working on their own. We all collaborate. And then we have universities that we are working with in terms of specializing in certain aspects of water in the country. So I don't know what else needs to be done to assure South Africans that we have a whole body of institutionalized and specialized bodies that are looking at water, apart from those that are government associated, in case you want to doubt what, you want to doubt government. But government itself, we are not busy getting drowsed somewhere. We're not. We're at work. So Randwater, as an old institution, is not necessarily getting old in terms of personnel that are there. Don't mistake that. We've just renewed the board. They are a new board, new chair, new board. All in accordance with the legislation and so on. And they are current in terms of their mandate. Management is current. They run courses, they go all over. Sometimes we say, no, you can't go. Or not all of you can go. Because they are all over the world, all the time, making sure a conference of one kind or the other. So they are very much awake. We also go there. We go to Randwater. We go to their facilities, just like we are here today. When they tell us via briefings, we go, we follow up, we monitor. So some people sit somewhere, they are awake for a few hours, and then they think we're asleep in the meantime. Inward. So we want to assure the public that we are hard at work. It's not only Randwater. We've just determined a new mandate for Randwater in particular. They are going to work up to Mpumalanga. They are already there via these projects, water pipes that run into other provinces. They are already there. But we want much more focus now, not only at a country level, but per province, to assure people in each province you are well looked after. Not only by your municipalities, not only by you, just like it is the case in Gauteng at the moment. The sooner you become familiar with the fellow who is the mayor, there's another one, and so on. So to cater for those changes and all on water, we have a board. We have the Department of Water and Sanitation who are very much at work, all of us. Now, we've gone on to report to you the public that our department is quite strong. There is no acting like you used to know, acting, DG, and ministry. I'm there, and 2 deputies. So we are sure you surely were not. We were not asleep. We are working. So other boards are also on their way to rival. Very big, 220. This is what you said. 210. I'm putting 10 more. 210 megaliters a day. I mean, of water that it will contain here. 230 water now or in future, but storage, just water stored. And Randwater is saying that this is equal to 24 hours. In other words, if something gets wrong, all the people who are supplied on the side of the supply via this scheme or this system, rather, supply going on, but just using water stored in this facility alone. And of course, after 24 hours, you would be fixing whatever, and you would be getting over that. Now, this is not the only one. There are others as well, via different systems of that Randwater is running throughout. But this is just one system. Now, where does it put us with water security? Where does it put us on planning? Where does it put us in terms of water security? But first, let me just say, we have a lot of meetings with Randwater. Ongoing, board and management, to ask questions, to get assurance, to scrutinize certain things where we ourselves want assurance and on which we want answers. We do that quite regularly. Now, the board also does that. They meet, they deal with their responsibilities. But also, we meet metros, because whatever we get from Randwater, we want to compare it with what then are the metros doing. Because if Randwater has come up with this kind of a facility, for instance, for now, if the metros are not doing any similar kind of work to ensure, so the water that you abstract from the valve that flows through plants, the pumps, the boosters, and the water treatment plants and so on, and up to storage. And then you do the same when it comes to metros. It would be negating the achievement that we've done. So we are now very much into the business of planning together. We were together with the metros on Tuesday, just this Tuesday, asking these questions from each one of them. And we are going to be meeting sometime beginning of March, and then go a long way just to indicate where we are confident that when it comes to security, we are there. We can assure South Africans that they are not in order. But of course, we're improving management, as I'm saying. We're engaging municipalities. Not only are we doing that here and around Gauteng, we are very much into Northwest. As recently as Tuesday, we're meeting Premier, meeting all water service authorities there on Tuesday on a virtual meeting, and we've been with them a week and then have been with them another week. We are managing water together with them practically, asking questions. Why is that pipe leaking for the last month? Why is that pipe broken for the last 10 years? Because there are such pipes in the Northwest. Before we came in, we're now very much in now. We're working on them in terms of funding and all of that. All corners of that province were there. Free State, were very much there. Very, very, very much. On pipes, guaranteeing water to all the people in the province, but at the same time assuring on the water resource management side. Western Cape were from there, were there, dealing with some of the key schemes there were not done. We still are going to be starting possibly at the end of the month with a major scheme there of raising the wall of Clan Williams Dam in the west coast. We went to the southern side of Western Cape at the time, looking at their infrastructure on water. So we're all over KZN with key schemes. We'll be telling you about those schemes in detail at the end of March. They're all running. We're making progress. Eastern Cape, including what the president was saying, some of the things that should have been done long ago, they are going to be done now. In Mpumalanga, in Limpopo. So we're all over on the security side, but also on the reticulation or management side. This is time for renewal, and therefore we are renewing everything. So Randwater is augmenting, is part of the augmenting their services through Vlakfontein. I'm just so jealous of this facility. I'm not sure whether it should be called Vlakfontein. Because my small Africans tell me flak, something that is shallow or something like that. I don't know. But maybe we will have to sit and think about something deeper, something that will resonate with security of water going forward. But let's think. But if you want to insist that you want to call it Vlakfontein because of the farms around, maybe something different. For Tembisilia, and we were even supplying them with another scheme from Loskop Dam. Pipes are being laid, coming to that municipality and JP Max municipality. So we are going out of our way, making sure that South Africans all over are supplied with water. Whether we will be able to convince everybody that we are hard at work, there is no doubt we will convince everybody. We will. But we will take one step at a time. Today we're here in Vlakfontein. 220. And complete next month. You said April. Now complete, not April 2028 or 2025. This year 2023. But today we're going to cut the ribbon to say Ziambomba, to tell the world and the country in particular, and even indicate to the president. I know the president is in Addis Ababa today, but he will see us surely that we are here. And just a day after the closing of the debate on the State of the Nation, President was responding yesterday, and we are further responding today on provision of what I heard one party arguing, we were in crisis with electricity. I knew before they finished that they are going to go to water's number 2. Indeed, they fell into a trap. Then we have a crisis of water. There's no crisis of water as far as resources, water resources are concerned. Yes, on management, on reticulating water, we've explained this now and then. On reticulating water, there are challenges. We are not denying that. This, in terms of availability of water, therefore rendering us out of crisis. What does it mean? It means that the Vaal is full. It is 102% full. The Vaal River. Why are we in a crisis when dams are full? You can't say we're in a crisis. What will you say if those dams run dry? What will you say? You'll run short of words. We're not short of words. Dams are full, it is true. Even though South Africa is a water scarce country, but dams are full. And we're augmenting that, augmenting that for Gauteng, phase 2 of the Lesotho water scheme. Where do we have problems which make people say water crisis? It's on management, on managing water, in other words, reticulating water. And what are we doing about it? We are now going down, work with giving them a lot of money there. And we directed Bloom Water to get in there, repair 1,500 kilometers of pipeline throughout those small towns there. We're intervening there. We are intervening in Kopanong, we're intervening in Bloom. So we are there, this is how we're dealing with it. We direct the water board, we give them money, we identify projects, they get started. They've started there. They are dealing with those. And I've spoken about Northwest. I've spoken about KZN. We're getting there all over. In Guyana, if you want to ask us about Guyana, they are putting pipes now. Reticulation pipes, not the main pipe from Nandoni to Tsana. That one done. We're going there before end of the month, just to ensure that this pipe is now pumping, but they are reticulating water. This is what President was talking about. So, if you say crisis, we say challenges. We're in reticulating water to people, to communities. But what are we doing about it? We are dealing with that, overcoming that. And there's no doubt that we're going to overcome it. There's no doubt about that. Quality of water, where are we with quality of water? Now, on the quality of water, somewhere this year, around March, April, I think April, we'll release the results of the Blue Drop. It's the first one after several years. Last year, we released the results of the Green Drop. It points to the state of water treatment plants in the country, in various municipalities who are engaging them to make improvements. Where they are not making enough improvements, we intervene. But we'll know the results of the quality of our water once that result is gone, once we've released those results. Now, last year when we released the Green Drop, there was a lot of confusion. People confusing Green Drop with potable water. Saying, yeah, you see how dirty our water is and so on. No, please, Green Drop refers to the state of water treatment plants and the effluent and so on coming out there. Now, Blue Drop, who are releasing those results, this is drinking water. You will know the quality of drinking water or any issues, and we will attend to them together with everybody. And therefore, it's the deliberate study that we do ourselves. So when those results get released, don't say, up until we're satisfied that the levels at which we are working are fine now, you can run on your own. Then we can start saying, yeah, local government, running water, yeah, province, yeah, national. For now, let us collaborate on replacing pipes, refurbishing, upgrading our systems. Let us collaborate on stopping leaks. That is non-revenue water. Let us collaborate on making sure that we have lesser restrictions and we satisfy the demand in a responsible way, of course. It doesn't mean that, demand will never end. In a wedding, it doesn't matter how much liquor or alcohol you have, people will demand. So like saying, even in the afternoon at 8, people are still demanding alcohol. So those things are there, depending on the type of a person. So on water, we are going to overcome, far above reasonable, the demand for water and the lessen restrictions, except those that we must apply just to ensure that we have enough water all the time. So your being here is not a waste of time. We thank you very much for being here. We thank the choir. I will look for membership. I used to have a very nice voice on tenor. That's why I have an ear for tenor. I could see that that man who is whitish in the head, I love the tenor. I'm not saying the others don't have, but I could hear a tenor coming from that man. That sings very well. The ladies, this side, soprano, I know all those things. She sang very well. Yeah, thank you very much. This is a beautiful function. Thank you very much, Randwater.
Thank you. Thank you. As we proceed and we about to conclude the formalities this side, I'm going to request the presence of the deputy chairperson of Randwater, and she's written Mr. here. Somebody is Miss or Mr. Kibone and Miss Malande. Tonje, oh, Kibone handle, it's a part of Kawana Lumutu. Muta Chaisa is Miss Malande. And I want the CEO to be ready here. I want the COO immediately. I'm not coming back, so he can come and give us the marching orders with regard to the sites, how we are going to go around and where we are going, and the ribbons and all those things. So after that, immediately, Mr. Mahlomula Mehlo will then come and give us the marching orders after you, ma'am. Without further ado, a warm hand for the picture.
Thank you to the program director, to the honorable minister, to the deputy ministers, chairperson of the Randwater board members, chairperson of the Randwater Foundation board and their board members, and to the CE, and all the honored guests today. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. As mentioned, my name is Malande Tonjeni. I am the deputy chairperson of the Randwater board, and my duty today is really just to thank everybody who made it possible for us to be here today. To start off with, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to the honorable minister for his guidance and his positive words in the keynote address, and also to the honorable deputy ministers for gracing us with their presence, the Minister David Mahlobo and Ms. Digeledi Makadzi. And I would also like, in their absence, to thank the the Director General and the Department of Water and Sanitation and the entire staff from the department we appreciate you as Randwater for your wise counsel, for your exemplary leadership and the good working relationship and support that we enjoy from the ministry as well as the department. I would also like to thank the chairperson of the board, Mr. Ramateu Mnyokolo, and for his leadership, for being here today, for leading the board and for leading us as Randwater, as well as our fellow board members for attending, making the time to be here today, as well as the Randwater Foundation Chair and board members. Also allow me to thank the CEO, Mr. Siko Musai, for his leadership of Randwater, leading the team that has made this occasion and this event possible. I would like to also make a special mention.
Spitze Linien. Buona spitze. Ah, tập này thì
Thank you, Program Director. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Honorable Minister, DMs, Chair of the Board, board members, all protocol observed. As we are about to go to site and witness, as the Minister has already indicated, really touch the structure, I just need to outline a few protocol matters. But before I do that, Program Director, please just allow me a second or two just to ask the team that is behind this structure just to stand up for the Minister and the Deputy Minister just to see them. Please, GM7, GMO, Nozi, Asha, everybody, please come. Lerato from safety, Zianda.
Come.
Minister, the team was actually led by the females from the conceptualization of the structure, from the design point of view. They want to be squeezed in, so you will just squeeze them in. Please come, gentlemen, please come. The Demusai also had to approve the designs. The Demusai. Yes, Minister, this is the team. As I said, really, as you can see, we were led by the Mpokotos. We're really proud. We're really proud to have the sort of skill set we have here. And we are looking forward to more of the same. Really, Randwater is blessed to have the internal skills that is able to design its own structures, that is able to maintain, that is able to operate, and really we're proud. Thank you so much. In terms of the PPE, I think that the chair has already indicated, Program Director, that we really require of everyone that is going to site to have PPE. Minimum requirement will be the safety boots. Please, if you don't have safety boots on, do not come to site. There are snakes, as the video has shown. Please be kind to the snakes. There's small little rabbits there. They're friendly. They're what we call pet snakes, pet cobras. So they won't. We will start off. We will also be marshaled by our safety reps. Lerato, please ensure that we marshal the walkabout. We will start off, and again, Osnozi, your team, please be in front as we lead everybody. We will start off on the side of the ribbon. In other words, we'll go all the way around the reservoir, cut the ribbon, unveil the plaque, and then just next to that area there is an inlet works, a valve inlet works. just to also show that where the water is actually controlled before it gets into the reservoir. And then we will come back around, go inside the reservoir. We will use a scaffolding that is already there, that has been tested, that is very safe. But we request that at any given time, only 10 people are on the scaffolding. As we come up the scaffolding, 3-point contact at all times, Reakopa, both hands on the scaffolding with one hand on the ground as the other one climbs up. So 3-point contact, and that's how we will go. And then when we get to the top, there is a ladder that will take us down. It's a vertical ladder. It's a stainless steel ladder. Yeah, you would have walked on the mud. Please just make sure that you remove the mud from your shoes. Please, as you go down, it's a very nice journey. It's easy, it's nice. When you come back up, please do pace yourself. Some of us who've been in there, we have really experienced that it's nice going down, but we will share experiences when we come back up. Inside the reservoirs, Reakopa, please do not leave anything inside that reservoir, because by the time we fill it, we want very little disturbances. It's a potable water reservoir, so the less we actually contaminate, the better. So Reakopa, please do not leave any water bottles in there. From the reservoir, we will walk back the side, back into the marquee. So as we leave here, I'm also going to request that the team, your team, will walk in front, and then that team will be followed by our dignitaries, the minister, the DMs, the chair of the board members, CE, and we will have everybody closely behind. We will be marshaled by our safety officers, just to make sure that we come back here safe and sound. Program Director, Madumi. Thank you.
Before we dispense, I think you see on the program it says there is a media briefing. I thought I should also clarify to the members of the Fourth Estate that we have prepared on the first tent as you drove in or walked in. There is a setup there with the chairs and stuff. The minister, together with whoever he has nominated, will be seated there after the walkabout for sit down with the media for intimate questioning and Q&A session. Thank you very much. That will be after we came back. Cheers.
Hey, wait. Are they coming back in here for lunch?
Yeah.
Or lot of tersale.
This one,
Mara problem ya le wane. Ina problem ya ina understand. Awana sana 27 minutes. Betrina le. Yeah?
Neri chachini na.
It was full.
Are you mudas?
Okay. Amare inform. Takan mamba.
Make sure not coverage. You put it. Baroutin. See for Kuba.
What's wrong with
count of.
Where's the chair?
On the count of cameras ready. On the count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year!
Okay. Or you want us close?
Yes, classes are for.
Okay. At least the chair is taller than me.
Okay. Another count.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Reservoir!
Okay, the Vlakfontein Reservoir, 210 megaliters capacity, which is 210 million liters, was officially launched by the Honorable Minister of Water and Sanitation, Mr. Senzo Mkuno, a Member of Parliament, together with the Chairperson of Randwater, the Randwater Chief Executive Officer, or Randwater Board, Mr. Ramtao Monyokolo, and Randwater Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Sipho Msai, on the 17th February 2023. Then the locals, Water and Sanitation Department, and Randwater. Thank you.
Sorry? Oh, no, yes.
Yabona siyagqokisa siyakhunyulwa. Thank you. Well, these planners, they must join us here. These ladies, they must come here. These planners.
Yes.
Just tata and report on Shian in them win. That's not fair.
This is the real picture. And they are supporting them.
Now there's gender.
So all of us.
Okay. Sharp, sharp. Where's the COO?
All right. Smile. Everybody.
Thank you. Goodness Zoom lab.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Only the female.
No, happy. Yeah. Happy. But explain it.
Okay.
Where's the deputy chair? Okay, deputy chair come. Now I'm the one one who looks shorter than them. Because I do have taller than the chair. Behind them, the deputy chair.
Okay, cut down.
Sure.
Cheese.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I come back?
Okay, we're going back.
No problem. Okay. The winning team this one. Sure. Okay. Hey, ma'am.
It was on, I didn't switch it off now, I just see it.
No, center.
Keep your feet center and your hands
on the sides.
No, don't go too far.
When you go to the stake.
Yeah, you can go.
And it's no chairperson where Randwater, comrade Nyokono is a name yak, and managing him busy and in the board. And then it's no chief executive officer, comrade Kumsayo Sipo, Nabani Jabata Bakona. And then there's a leadership from local government, there are councillors that are here, and there are other stakeholders that are here. Manje uminister was around here ubezojonga le project lokuthiwa iVlakfontein. Manje ibona nje ukuthi igama lakhona licishe lifane nelinye igama esingalazi. Manje he always makes it a point ukuthi singadluli nje nibona abantu bebhizi nibona iy'moto nama-blue lights angisho. Nithi bekunabantu esingaba-understand who are these people. Minister thought he can be able to come and spend some few minutes with you, and then from there we can be able to explain which Begonzagana. My name, I'm David Mashavo. I'm also the Deputy Minister to Comrade Matumani here. By the way, we don't have much time because with our own internal engagement as government and the stakeholders, sijonga lomsebenzi omuhle igovernment ewenzayo. Ngoba abantu abaninzi bayakhala eNingizimu Afrika kunama-problems amaninzi, but upresident usixelele ukuthi ke ilanga lizophuma eNingizimu Afrika, and we believe ukuthi under these difficult conditions, working together as South Africans will be able to resolve our challenges. And the president, after he concluded his debate yesterday, it's a continuation of the work that those who are deployed in government, they must spare no effort. They must not rest. Bangaphumuli mabasebenzela abantu. eGauteng ke enye ingxaki ekhoyo indaba yamanzi. Uyavuka ngelinye ixesha amanzi akhona, ngelinye ilanga amanzi awaphumi in some of the taps. Manje ngeke ukwazi ukuthi uphile kungenamanzi. That's why uMinister ne-team yase-Randwater umsebenzi wabo ukuthi ke every drop of water must arrive in our homes. And this exercise today, uMinister ke ngakhatheka vele la azobona lo msebenzi wenzakele. Ngaphambi ukuthi ke ngimoshe isikhathi, ngizocela nje ukuthi sinikeze uMinister ukuthi abe nethuba lokuthi athethe nani. After that, mhlambe singachekisha one or two people abafuna ucomment amacingwane. And then emva kwalokho then we'll close our engagement. We okay? Si right ne? Sisere kamnandi ne? Okay, macingwane indaba ezithi.
Thank you very much, Mahlobo, Deputy Minister, Deputy Minister Makadzi, Chair CE, and other leading officials, senior officials in Randwater.
Sizophazamisa kancane iRandwater igenerate yakhompyutha nawo.
Manje Chief of Staff anatanga i-mic, but that's fine. We are here today at Vlakfontein to launch the reservoir. The reservoir yakhiwe futhi i-ownwa
Randwater. Bayiqale ngo-2020. Bayiqedile manje finishing plan. Complete. Sebeke bawafaka amanzi phakathi. It's not leaking anywhere. But because we were coming today, they also emptied it so that we could see the whole of it, not just outside. Now we decided and advised by them that it would be important not only to Randwater as a government entity, but also not only important to us as the Department of Water and Sanitation, but to the public in South Africa as a whole. Then we come here, we say we are commissioning officially this reservoir, and for everybody to see. Now in South Africa and in Gauteng, there are perceptions in the public that you are just about to go dry and not have water in your taps because of a number of challenges here and there. But I want to straighten the record in front of you here. One, we are not short of water in the sources of water, in and around Gauteng. We have most of Gauteng, if not all. We are supplied by the Val Dam. The Val Dam is 102% full of water, and it is still raining. Okay? We are starting phase 2 of the Lesotho Water Highlands project, which will bring a lot of water in addition to the water that is there already. Phase 2 will do that. By 2027, we'll commission it. Now, it's not a plan, it's something that is happening. In December last year, I went to Maseru, and from Maseru, we went to the mountains to see work in the dam that is being constructed. It's Podihadi Dam. We landed there. In fact, we landed on a chopper. We then drove down. We went down where the dam is, where the wall is going to be. They showed us the wall is going to be there because it was a distance. Because it was the weather was not fine. 2, we could see where the tunnel will take water from Podihadi Dam right across the mountains to Katsa Dam, which then takes water back to Gauteng to augment water and thereby ensure security of water for people of Gauteng. All right? Now the Val Dam itself and the Val system as a whole supports about 19 million lives. And it is always very important that we keep it alive and we ensure via different methods. And phase 2 is one of those methods. 2027 we deliver the project. It's not a plan, it's not a promise, it's not a daydream. It's something that we are doing. President said in this State of the Nation address, he wants to go there as well. We are facilitating that. He will go there with the Prime Minister and the King so that that project officially starts, even though it has started. There are people, contractors who have been awarded, and they are there now, establishing sites and working as we talk. So when people say something unknown is about to happen, water is just going to disappear, we don't understand what they are talking about. But we listen, even if we don't believe it, even if we deny it, because there's no way water in the Val Dam can just disappear. But we still listen. Or so and so is saying this today. Or so and so is regarded as an expert. We phone. What are you saying? No, I just was saying if Oh, okay. So there's no person in South Africa who can stand here and say, no, water is about to disappear. In other words, we are about to fail as government to deliver water or to avail water as the resource. And I'm talking about the resource. I'm talking about the sources of water. They're full of water. All the systems that pump water into the Valley Dam are working in addition to what we're planning. Okay, that's number one. So where is the problem? Why do you at times experience this and that? Over the last few months, we have been in meetings with Randwater as a starting point. Who is Randwater? Randwater is the bulk supplier of water to all metros in Gauteng. Okay? They don't bring water to your home. They bring water to your metros. All right? They own the big pipes. They pump water into these big pipes from the dam. The dam is owned by DWS, and DWS, that is the department. We allow Randwater to abstract water from our dam, which is managed by DWS. And then they clean water in their system. They run a huge system, many pipes. Some of them, you can walk in them, big. They run water in those. They run water, they clean water, they then build reservoirs, and they store water in those reservoirs. All right? Now, we had meetings with them. We'll never stop holding meetings with Randwater. We're always in meetings. The last meeting with them alone was last week. What were we doing? We were saying, how much water do you abstract? Where does water go? Where does water go from there to where, from there to where, and so on? And we're trying to detect whether the water they abstract or they pump from the dam actually goes to their storage plants, that is reservoirs. What is the difference? Yes, there are hitches here and there, water that disappear via leaks there and there. We're looking at that. They are looking at that. They are correcting that. There are pipes that they have to add on top of the pipes that they have now. In some cases, renew them. In some cases, refurbish them. In some cases, make sure that they change them. Once water gets into the system, no water disappears. Or if anything, very little disappear. But because they are not alone, and they are not the ones that take water to your home, we then got all the metros of Gauteng. This week on Tuesday, we were with them. We sat here at Kempton Park. And one by one, we made them report. How much water do you get? How much water is demanded, is in demand in your metro? How much water do you get supplied by Randwater? How much water do you pass on to residents, in this case of Ekurhuleni? So they told us. And we could see some gaps in all the metros. And we asked them to explain. So you have this demand, so your people demand this much water, but you give them this much water. In some cases, it matches. The demand is equal to the supply. And it is equal to the water they get from Randwater. And it is equal to the water that they give to you. But they too admitted here and there that, however, Minister, we have a problem in a particular system because it's an old pipe. We are now renewing our infrastructure. We have various stages of procurement or various stages of building. In other words, doing refurbishment, or we are completing. So, and other projects are run by them, other projects are run by us. So they named every project and the stage at which they are, and those that are complete, those that are running, those whatever. So we know exactly now. Then we said, because there are certain questions that need to be answered here and there in New Metro, Johannesburg, Ekurhuleni, Tshwane, all of them. We want Director General Dr. Phillips to coordinate a meeting with all the municipal managers, your engineers, your technical people on water and sanitation to meet. In the second week of March, they will then finalize their report. We want them to account even on a single drop of water that we can't account for in the system. Because water is very precious. You know we live in a water scarce country. South Africa is not blessed with water, abundance and abundance of water. So when a fellow opens a tap and then washes a car for an hour and while phoning to a friend, we almost die. We almost die. We almost, if you want to kill us, just open taps. When I came from that meeting in Captain Park, I turned left. And just a few meters after the gate, I saw a dam of water. And I said, it's unusual. Even though it's raining, but there can't be so much water on the road. Almost sinking cars and so on. So we stopped, and then I phoned Chief of Staff to say, phone Ekurhuleni, tell them to go there and check. What is this water? But the first answer was that, no, this is rainwater. I said, rainwater? I then said, even if it's rainwater, they must go and account, check what rain. All of a sudden, why is it not raining all over? So they called all the people and they went there. And the day later, I get a report. No, there was a pipe that was pouring water out. I was, by that time, I was in Cape Town. And I could see the heart beating very, very, very hard because of the loss of water. And I was saying, what would have happened if I didn't cross that road? It would mean that water would be going out and somebody would be saying, rainwater. Now, I'm warning the metros that from now onwards, when we see such things, we're going to put a price. We're going to tell them, go and fix that water, and you will pay for the loss of water that you allowed in the system for so much. And our Gauteng office, I want them to double their effort. I mustn't be the one who sees leaks, and I phone them all the time when I see a leak. All over. When I cross a leak, I phone them. Go and check that leak, and so on and so on. So we are into improving our management of water in Gauteng, but as for security of water, that is availability of water in the sources of fire. Management, we're improving. How are we improving? Meeting and calculating. And we talk figures. At some point at the end of March, we will talk to the public at length about system of water and management of water in Gauteng alone. In terms of quality, in terms of availability, just security of water. And we'll tell you which metro is not doing well. And I can even tell you now that I think out of all the metros, Tshwane is trailing behind, including in Amaskara. But there's something that we're completing with them in that regard. So we're delighted that we're here to launch this reservoir. New, it's brand new. It's over and above the two that are already there. All in all, you now, just here, a storage of 630 megaliters. If all these facilities are full at one time, 630 megaliters. In other words, if you allow that water to, all of you will sink. If we can just release that water to your homes all over, not only will you sink, you'll go down somewhere. So, lot of water. This one that we are launching, 210 megaliters. That is the volume. Technology that has worked there puts this reservoir one of the best in the world, if there's anyone. The biggest that we have of the same type, the second biggest, they say it is in Saudi Arabia, at 200 megaliters. This one is 210, so we're ahead of them. But there's nothing like it comparable here in the country and elsewhere in the continent in terms of the type that we have. But of course we have others that are big. 600, there's another one that is 600. Now we went around and around and we could see that, yeah, this facility, man, it's like South Africa. Proud of this facility. Just looking around, looking at it around. Very proud. And we want the people who are doubting, we want them to come here if we had our way. To come here, but by being present here to launch this thing, we are demonstrating to the country that this thing is there. We touched it and we saw it. But then, guess what? We then climbed up, we then got inside, 12 meters down, 12 meters. This is 1 meter. Count 12 times. It's difficult to get there, step by step, and then we landed there. And then this thing is huge. Long for long, wherever looting. Ingama swimming pool of 50. I law against the car, Lama cool, Lama Olympics. The normal Lama swimming pool. La, I'm a person who will it then. About 50. That is how much big that thing is. They are going to wash it, make sure they do the touch-ups. I even asked, how do you clean after we landed there and so on? They said, no, they wear special clothing and they clean via special chemicals, then they get them, whoever gets them. Clean and do all sorts of things. Then they will allow water into that reservoir in the next week or so. That thing is going to be full. The others are going to be full. Now, if for some reason electricity trips, we will be able to pump water at least for 2 days to all of you without any disturbance. But I don't want to hide this thing. We have a challenge of electricity in the country which interferes with our capacity, our ability to pump. So when water stops in your home, don't be simply angry with me or the metro or Randwater. Don't. Just be patient, check where is the problem. Don't start insulting and say, no, but if you feel like, do so because you will be angry. It won't prevent you from doing so. But at least you must know. We are very much disturbed by the state of affairs in terms of energy supply. It is interfering with our pumping. So sometimes you have load shedding 3, 4, 5 times a day. What happens? It means we can't pump water into the system and our reservoirs will get reduced to a point where we can't pump or release any water from the reservoir. That's when it starts affecting your home. It's not because somebody is asleep somewhere. It's just because of load shedding. When they are going to be fixing pipes or closing leakages or whatever, they announce. Now we've started accelerating, working together, department, Randwater, and the metros, so that what gets said to you at homes is the very same thing that Randwater is saying, is the same thing that we are saying. We have begun this thing and we are going to be working together. Even when Ekurhuleni becomes weak somewhere, we will know and we will drive cars, all of us, to go and assist Ekurhuleni, because you are You are our number one target, satisfaction levels of the community. Then we can come and clash alone. Why did the technician do this? Why did they not do this? But ourselves want to work together. We've resolved that we are going to work together. All the metros in Gauteng just guarantee water, because water is life. One day, all of you wouldn't be here if there was no water, for once. But if there are potholes, you drive your car this way, that way, that way, that, but you proceed. One mayor told me that no, in this municipality, if you drive this way, it's demonstration that you are so. When you drive like this, you drive. But if you drive straight, everybody says you are drunk. Because you just drive straight and then you punch your tires and so on. But I'm saying to you who are here, and we thank you very much for being here. Small as you are, would have wanted the thousands and thousands of people and speak to them that look, this is a tangible effort on our side to make sure that we augment security of water by building and completing this reservoir. The age of structures being built or infrastructure being built and abandoned and not completed, no, it's gone. Now we want to work with you. If you see water leaking anywhere when you drive, please record. There are people who are very good. They will send you, they will stop, they will take whatever technology they use, they send it to us to say, in such a place, if you cross this street now, street so and so, there's a leak, there's water just gushing. And we send people to go there because it's your water. It's your water. It's not our water. It's your water. Because water belongs to us. So let's work together instead of just getting angry. Yes, become angry, but after some time, phone and say, there's a problem there. Please go there. And we really want to work with you because we want to make sure that we give you the best service. The best service in terms of cleanliness of water and so on. We will be releasing a blue drop. That is the quality of water measurements in April to assure you how clean or how unclean that water treatment plant and that one, and what to account for every water treatment plant in the country but belonging to municipalities. And then if there's malfunctionality in one way or the other, we make them account and we work with them and we improve and so on and so on. So we are happy to see you. We do want to interact with you because we are one people. Those of us who are in government, who are members of the community still. And we don't want to just ruffle our way and just give you anything. We want to give you top of the range. This is what we wanted to say to you. Thank you very much, Masho.
Minister Mactingwane. Manje lezandla lishaka kancane wathi amafunda. Inabonjiniyela abasezingeni eliphezulu abanye ngabesimanga bayitalente planning. It's done by our own people in our own country. And the material in the main ngase South Africa. Manje ke siyazi ukuthi labantu bakho be social economic development babanikela abantu amathuba. Kodwa akukho phela bengeke niwe wonke umuntu amathuba ngisho. The opportunities were very small, but we are very happy that there are those that benefited on opportunities, on training, on employment, on procurement, but not all of us could do that. Now I'm saying that the system there, if you get a Makambu gas like Urlin, Namatola Manzapito. Manje thina abantu baseburuleni nabantu basetswana sowathola amanzi angisho including abantu baseMpumalanga naphuma ilanga la. That was the message from our minister, so that you don't have a situation where you see these leaders of government, they come in, they drive around, they don't greet you. The minister has greeted you. Maybe we can get one or two people, you greet the minister, then we call it a day. No minister. Tatu Sisi, 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, Singapore. It's in Tadeng our Sisi. Ungenza uzothetha lokho kwami. Ngihlala.
Afternoon. Okay. I'm one of the people who stays here.
Okay.
Yes, I am benefited from this project. I was the lady who's doing electrical on the reservoir. Super trucks. So I appreciate everything that's happening in this project. Thank you.
The municipality must keep you the database. If there is a problem electrical, there is a women-led entity, we must support it. So if we don't go and get people very far from where I come from a farm, when there are people here. Sis.
Minister Siyabonga, ukhulumile kuzwakele. Martha, well-known as Pinky. I'm staying in this ward. I'm in the water industry. I'm operator from home. In a water plant, I'm producing and supplying water. So I'm happy that government or the president will always say women should be empowered. I'm pleading with you, but is there a way I can be empowered, be mentored, or be helped to get marketing a good? Because now I have strong competitors out there like Ozone, Oasis, and the others. That's all.
Social economic development. Because yes.
Greetings to the Minister and all protocol observed. Greeting to the community. I heard the Minister commenting on, Minister, we are so grateful for everything that you have explained. It came strongly to our ears. It was so comprehensive. But yeah, we have been engaging with the project facilitators without knowing that they are only here for project. But we were told that there are people that we can go straight to, and that is Randwater. I am glad because I can see Randwater today in full force. So my question here is, these people, when I say a secretary, and then please tell us what is happening with skills and development. We have seen major projects like this, and then they don't just go without equipping the community. They always like to come to this level. Please make sure that they are facilitated accordingly. And that is all that we are looking forward to.
What kind of secretary, Rosa?
Okay, yes. I've been nominated as the community secretary. But at the moment, there are lots of structures that are happening. And then now the community still regard me as the secretary. And then whenever I meet these youngsters, they say that what is happening. And then again, this one is going to be maintained. We don't know who's going to maintain it. So if ever the community is upskilled, then there are those going to monitor and facilitate those. So we need that to come from our community so that we can appoint like a young lady who stood here and say that I was an electrician. So we need it to come straight from the community. And that never happened. We are still waiting for those skills.
Which there were opportunities, opportunities were given, but they are not always too many. Community as a Crystal Park, Hotel which Congress, but Abadu Foundation by Bagashe. I'm going to put it up. Crystal Park, one them to have a Christian and clear future. No, there were issues of needs are more than what we could do. And the infrastructure in Antloop is our managed in-house. This is the best capacity we have in government, but the government is not capacity. 120 years institution, Lena is built by South Africans, it's built by government, Randwater. And it's really maintained, as far as maintain our infrastructure. But there will be certain times we need mechanical, we need electrical, we will always use them. But we are the last one. No, but this card, this was.
Sanibona. Igama ngumawili wakamathebula community leader extension 124. Ngomunye wabo lo wabenefita kule project nengenza i-form work ya sibiza ukuthi yini ngopha istyle salapha. Mara khona enye into lana ukuthi i-company le ithengwe ifika la. Ayikaze i-develope i-skill lesiwa leyo into emhlophe la ekhona la emhlaleni. The skill esiwana sika-sys developer from la ehlaleni. I-SED akazishiye i-skill la. Yonke into sibona sokucompleted umphakathi nawo awuna skill. There's nothing ukuthi umphakathi wala ukuthi uzokhomba ukuthi I have a skill salento la ngifunde ngalomsebenzi wala we-Randwater. Nothing what happened. Misonke iskill sala lesizana into eyenzakala la izena ne-double PHO yonke into was double PHO asikho neskill esiyi-one esidluleyo emphakathi u-upset ayokho. That is why ubona ukuthi the mostly umphakathi wala wa-24 ungekho because of this project. The way ungakhona even ukhona obafikile umphakathi la babajikisa nalapha egate. Ngiyabonga shoja.
No, siyabonga umuntu ojikisa abantu wenze wrong. But singa guys, even that side of Tshwane, it supplies Mpumalanga and many other parts. And we must be able to put in Ishogomen, we must look after it. Manje you will be supported, but government can't be able to provide everything, like no motion, who benefited. And you are not going to be the only ones benefiting. Lama projects, Lana, they belong to all of us in the country. Manje leyo kufuneka sikwazi ukuthi nina njengoba lead abantu, you must know that. Uyabona ke leadership, you must even tell people the news they don't want to hear. Because we must tell the truth. And all the time we must do that. Manje ke ngelilanga ndazithatha ukuthi masephuma lamanzi. Njengoba beqalile ukwacheck ukuthi ablik kwenziwa nomunye umsebenzi. Masa sekhona amathuba kufuneka abone. But ebengushilo la. Uminister ubengeka ndlula. Anganibusanga athethe about anything. They will not be here. But in reality flow in our homes. Kungabibikho lesitory ukuthi akunamuntu ongabenefit and say, hey, I'm in trouble at home. Someone addressing me officially now.
Who involved with you? We were involved in the project. I feel. Kwamnani. Walekelela abanye abantu. Wasuyilahla. Waphela. Wena nje kufanele uthi hey manje ngeke nakwazi ukuthi si upskill noma si lekelela abanye abantu nabo abantu abawu5 youngsters mhlawumbe ziqeda ama degree bafuna ukwenza this specific things because this project ngeke ikwazi ukuthi itrain i-upskill ibinoni yonke at the same time ngoba ngeke setshenziswa ufuna kwakhiwe into iqedwe kodwa abantu abathize a few people wena bozo-identify ngoba usubonile ngala ukuthi ayilokhu nalokhu ngathanda ukuthi ngithathe abantu abathize balekelele manje-ke hayi yabona wena usuke wangahamba nesonga nje into isifikile kuwe yabona wangathatha kodwa-ke uyindoda uyasukuma uzala uthi umphakathi uangry, umphakathi awubenefitanga. Manje kuzofuna sibabize labantu bonke labantu okukhuluma ngabo. Size thina la ngoba kusithatha isikhathi eside. Soza la so-3 uze nalabantu aba-angry. Sizosho ukuthi hayi nangu umuntu ofanele nikhulume naye kuqala. Ngoba uwo kufanele bakhulume. Bese-ke siqala-ke sinilekelelake ukuthi hayi okulandelayo uma kunento kanje ngoba phela siqine ukusebenza. Wena nje thina ngeke sakuyeka umuntu oright kabi. Sesosebenza nawe nakwezindawo khona usuke wayibona kodwa khona la uleke khona. Manje-ke angikwazi ukuba angry nathi ngoba phela thina silethe Reservoir. Salethe umsebenzi kwaqashwa abantu 8 million, more than 8 million. About in terms of payments. 11 million. Manje-ke kungathini mhlawumbe akuwona ama-permanent jobs akhona. Kodwa-ke it's a start. Mina angithukuthele ngawo, hlobo-hlobo right. Bona manje ngiyabona ukuthi ufune appointment nawe silungiselele. Bese siyolungisa laba bantu. Laba bavimba abantu egethini akuhamba kahle ngoba phela manje abantu befuna uzosiphola. Manje bavinjelwana abantu. Mathi. Usho ukuthi khona ayifunayo, ufuna. Okay. Hayi sokhuluma naye. Ngoba ufuna umuntu ovela thukuthele khona abantu abanjalo. Bayathukuthelela yonke into nje khona. Losokhuluma naye. Bakwethu sibonga kakhulu ukuthatha nje ithuba sikwazi ukuxoxa ngalolu hlobo. Asicini namhlanje. Siyabonga mlewethu. Noma ungakhulumanga kodwa into. Thank you.
Sibonga kakhulu. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.